Hello. So it has been a little bit of time, and I believe it was earlier. No, it was last. Hello. So it is currently September 18th for 2 more hours. And not earlier this week, but late last week over the weekend, the pending update number 4, I believe it is, for Tower Simulator 3 released. I have not really looked at the changelog. You can see the announcement still unread by me, so I wanted to kind of go through this fresh before jumping in and playing and taking a look at some of my existing complaints. Before I get into any of the complaints or anything like that, I did want to say that it is great to see the developers continue to support the game. It is good to see new free content, new paid content, and just more content being created. If the game continues to stabilize, then maybe I'll revise my statement of it's probably not worth buying this one. If you have the modded version of Tower 3D Pro, just because I haven't played Release 4 here, but up to this point, it offered overall a better experience with less issues and problems. Now, again, since I am not playing regularly right now with so much going on, I am pretty rusty and terrible, but I managed to do decently and hold my own on a full 100% scheduled time frame. I just gotta sometimes take a mulligan and redo some things. So, let's take a look at these announcements for the launch and see what the changes are. Okay, so we've got places for update. Wow, this is a kind of a rough picture, but cool. What do we got here? Free airport VRMM in the Maldives. Looks like a lot of seaplanes. That looks pretty cool if they're actually playable. New GUI commands. I like that. We'll have to take a look at what that is. So let's see what is... Oh, it's going to send me straight to... Great. So it's going to send me straight to their website. So give me just a second. I'll pull this up online and we'll take a look at it. Alright, well, the website was kind of pointless. It just wanted to send me to buy the game or load their portal. I'm not loading their portal right now. So I came back to Steam where I purchased the game. Kind of the hassle of dealing with folks that want to have their own portal, but I digress. Sound like Jay's 2 cents now. It is kind of funny that I've only officially played this according to Steam 13.2 hours. Tower 3D Pro 230, almost 235 hours. So that's kind of funny. All right. So I'd seen this announcement on August 2nd that they were talking about a major update. They released it. I like the new background graphic thing. Let's take a look at the update and go through. So they've got a new tutorial. I will take a look at some of that. It's probably just talking about the menus. We'll see if I watch that. I'll probably just wing it. They've got a new start guide, which is helpful for pilots. New airport, moved to the next update, too much spacing on moved to the next. Okay, so some of these are calling out what was done, what was fixed, what was added, and what was moved. So I like that there's going to be another update. That's great, but it's going to be that there's too much spacing on final. I think that's maybe if you set the spacing in the separation, that might be what it's talking about. Or maybe because of the way the game's operating, they just keep too much spacing between aircraft so that you don't actually get the full schedule in the time frame. New lighting, new clouds, new water, graphical improvements. Nice to see better performance. Definitely like that, especially since my potato PC is getting long in the tooth. New foliage, new non-verbal commands for the mouse interface. I'm very curious what this is, and I wish they were giving some more details here. I may have to check the new start guide to take a look at what that's talking about. Let me get that loading in my browser. Doesn't really look like it's talking about much. I'll download that. Alright. So I'm curious what that means. Mouse interface, new nonverbal commands. Maybe I can send something for specifics. Humidity based on real weather. That's interesting, but what is that going to do? Is that going to affect speed? Is that going to affect rollout? Is that going to affect V1 speeds? Things like that for the airplanes to get off the ground? Anything like that? Is it going to do something? Otherwise, I don't know. Get rid of the light reflection in the tower. Thank you. That would not likely happen in a real tower based on lighting placement, angles, and treatment of windows. Re-export all airports, so that just sounds like they ran all the airports with their updated systems just so that it takes all that into consideration. Done and released it already. Voice recognition improvements for similar taxiways and or call signs. This could be huge for me because you've seen me struggle. And it's not like I'm speaking, I know I have a very American accent, kind of Midwestern, but as far as accents go, it's not like I'm speaking English as a second language, so the system is dealing with, say, a natural Spanish or whatever other accent, and I'm kind of, the way I pronounce my letters and things is misread. Because if I do other systems, like if I dictate into Teams at work or for other AI systems that I have to use, it interprets my voice flawlessly, even better than I would expect. When I'm not even trying, it captures a lot better than some of what this game is doing. And I try, I'm not perfect, but I do try to enunciate in this game. So having voice recognition improvements could be very helpful on some of those taxiways and call signs where it just seems to mess up. For me, it's mostly taxiways. I don't usually have call signs unless I, for some reason, forget to say heavy or one of those. So new graphics doesn't really tell me much. Heading below 100 doesn't work, so I'm guessing that's a heading below 100 degrees doesn't work. Wind commands are broken. I don't usually mess with the wind right now. Done. Voice recognition doesn't recognize taxi to runway. Okay, that's good. Fixing typos, that's good. I've seen one, but not recently. Haven't had that problem. Don't know what those are. Choose between voice or mouse commands. I'm really curious what these mouse commands are. I might find that nice, especially if my voice is failing. But I wonder if you can use both at once or you have to pick one. Improve but need further work on METAR. I'm not sure what COR is. I use METAR. That's basically the weather information. So like the Alpha Zulu, Alpha Bravo, when they're calling in, I have information whiskey. They're basically telling you they have the information of the weather and all that. And the weather comes across in a METAR, which gives you clouds, windage, all that good information. Add date option for more realistic day length. That's interesting, kind of cool. So if you're in the summer, your day will stay up longer. That's neat. Improved save load issues. I'll be curious to try that because if you've seen my prior videos where I tried to save a game and resume it, I got boned. Fixed contact departure readback when having complex departures. So in Tower 3D, I used some of the complex departures fairly frequently for a while, but I actually found that it caused more problems than it fixed simply because I would have to spout all that stuff off, give this massive command, and then still deal with some other things. And in the way I was playing as a solo controller, dealing with 100% traffic, because the stress of managing all of that is kind of what I enjoy in the game versus super detailed, realistic, wind at 280, climb and maintain, blah, turn left, heading such and such. The reason I don't like that, and one of the suggestions I made to the developers when they were getting into this, was to add some realistic waypoints at some of these airpoints. So instead of saying just at 300 feet, turn left, or whatever the case may be, I could say fly runway heading direct, blah, 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 or once I could get them out of my airspace, I could have them do there, because the game is kind of mixing a couple of different roles in some of that. Usually, the airplane at takeoff will have a little bit of commands, but some of these larger airports will have specific waypoints that they will hit, and the airplanes will get to that waypoint and follow their routes with the other ATC folks outside of the tower. I'm not saying this is 100%, don't rip me apart, but in listening to ATC and tower and watching fly videos and things, I've seen that happen more frequently at the larger airports. Smaller airports, certainly, they will give a little more leeway in commands, and I'm not saying large airports don't give those commands. It's just typically it's your airborne contact departure, and they kind of get with departure at very low altitudes, and they're told, okay, I need you to go here, I need you to go there, speed, heading, all that stuff as they're mapping them out of the region with all the other big airplanes and traffic. So I'm interested about what that'll do, and that's kind of why I don't really use those complex departures, because to me it was less fun to tell the airplane where to go, left, right, in part because I like to jump around to different airports. I do pick one for a while, play it, have a lot of fun. But in reading the strips, you would typically know that, okay, this airplane on departure is heading to this airport, so they're going to need to go to the right, to the south, whatever direction they're going to need, and so you would get them to the appropriate departure runway. If you have multiple ones, that puts them closest to that, so you're not banking them left or way around the airport, etc. And that's something I just don't know all the time. And that's, again, partly why I kind of cut that, because I'd rather say, okay, fly direct Cowboy or something, which is one north, I think it's north of DFW where I reside. And that would be a lot more fun to actually send them to a waypoint and contact departure, things like that, versus just give them a direction, a heading, and an altitude. But I don't know, maybe I'll try to get back into that. We'll see. Ongoing bug fixes, that's nice. Would like to know what they are. Shaders for the planes. We'll see if that happens. Live MEDAR takes a lot of time to load. I think I tried that once and I never got in. I thought it broke, so that could be something. Voice recognition locks in on first number and ignores the second number when it's the same as the first. Have not had that issue. Likely fixed. Need a public beta. Some user experience issues where the pilots can't be heard. I have not experienced that problem. So pretty good amount of fix. Most of it appears to be in the GUI and the graphics of the game, because if you look at this, the lighting looks so much nicer. It looks like a little bit of ray tracing potentially. Maybe they're not going that fancy, but it just looks a lot nicer in the way it's rendering the water and the reflections. This looks a lot nicer with the shadow mapping. I don't know if we'll ever be out on the end of the runway versus in the tower, but the level of detail put in there is nice because you can see the winglets, you can see through the flaps on the shadowing. The road around the airport looks a lot nicer. The water, some of the sandage, it just looks a lot cleaner. So I'm glad to see that type of stuff happening. I like that. And that's the other update. So pretty cool stuff. Let's jump in and take a look at the menu, and then I will probably play that new airport island one, just because it's going to be a shorter round, because this is already 10 minutes of me yakking. So let's get in the game and take a look. Alright, so we are in game now, and this background looks kind of familiar. It's like the modded version of Tower 3D Pro. It's all in-engine stuff, which I think is pretty awesome. It's a good viewpoint of the game. It really does enhance a lot. I like it. Otherwise, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of changes to the menu itself. We still have all the career options. It goes through your back. Handling of activity, what you want to play, mods, quick play, typically where I've been going. All the free maps that are listed here in the Maldives. So this is the one we'll play in a little while. They called out that they had fixed or modified some of the saved game settings, so we'll have to try that, see if it's any improved from what it was. It did work, but it did kind of just drop you in the thick of it. Multiplayer, I will need to go through and set some of this up. I do know a pilot who is interested in playing. Happens to be my nephew. Very proud. But they got this game a while back, and I haven't done multiplayer since Tower 3D. I never really recorded it because it went terribly and was kind of boring the way it was separated. But in this one, us being able to set up the control of the airport, so like if we did LAX, we can split it up a lot more than we could at the other one. It just is going to take a bit of time for me to validate the CSV file on the back end, make sure he's got it and installed, and then we'll go back and forth with whatever we can do on that. But that'll be something fun for the future. Settings is where we can do some things. I don't know what in here has changed specifically, because as you saw in the invite, it just said some, not invite in the patch notes, some things have changed, but I'm not exactly sure what. Exactly. Minimum parallel distance. There are certain airports like PHL where it's not common, but you would stack planes kind of closer together. Some airports do that, so I would prefer to have that. Radar separation I've kept at 2.5 miles. I think I'm going to speed that up a little bit now, get some more planes in. I think that's going to slaughter me at LAX and some of the other busy ones, but that's in part why I was a little more able to keep up. I'm not going to say I did well, but I was able to keep up a little bit, so I think that'll slow me down a lot more. And the communication port, I believe, is what on the router needs to be forwarded for multiplayer, but I thought they were doing away with that, so I'll have to take a look at this. Handover is simple, which is just contact departure. This is cool because you actually have to give them a frequency, but I don't know if you actually have to give them the correct frequency. So for the moment, I'm going to keep that on simple, especially since I don't typically just play at one airport. But it would be nice to know what some of those frequencies are and to call it out. Group callback sign, I'm not sure what that is, since I don't really think there's a lot of group flyers out there. I'm probably completely wrong in what that actually is. Time-based, distance-based. So runway separation is currently set to time-based, which I think is just the arrival pattern based in the schedule. I think if I switch that to distance, then it doesn't matter if like 4 planes show up at once. It'll just stick them north, south, east, west, whichever runways are open, based on the actual separation distance, which is 500 feet parallel. So that could be interesting. That would definitely make the game a little more difficult, but I'm going to leave that where it is for now. So a couple changes there. I'm going to see what performance does. I didn't really have many performance issues. I think they've added a couple things here. Airline texture cache, temporary disabled. I don't know what that's for. Background FPS limits when it's in the background. I don't really care about any of that. VSync off. Yep, all that's still the same. Nothing changed. Overall quality is high. Decor is full. FSR3 is a type of anti-aliasing, but why wouldn't that just be under anti-aliasing? Because got all that. So these are some newer features. I will probably turn on. I don't want to kill my game because I do have an older GPU, but I also know this isn't the most graphically intense game, but it depends on how well optimized the individual maps are, switching between old terminology, but like the skybox and the outer range distance textures versus the up close textures and all the activity around the airport. So I think this will enhance it a pretty decent amount. I'm gonna leave FSR off at the moment, and we'll just kind of go slow, easing into how this goes, because I don't want to waste all the time setting up and loading in to see what happens. So I do like the old beep. I'm fine with that. Fast and fastest. I don't know if I had it set to I think I did recently bump it up to fastest because it was just too slow still. Inputs, not really any different. Seeing still those are hard locked, which was a complaint that I had before. Yeah. Cool. Add-ons, I don't really have any at the moment, so okay. Not much changing there. These are all the airports you can buy still. Alright, well, that's basically it. Not a lot of changes, mostly just a couple graphical user just a couple graphical changes, not a whole lot to the UI. I do like the animating background. It's a lot more interactive and just makes it a much better setup. So, alright, well, let's set up a run in the Maldives and go from there. Okay, so load-in wasn't too horrible. It did take a bit of time here. Let's go pause real quick so I can reset everything. Yeah, 36. I want to be at the proper orientation for the airport here. It's going to be a bit interesting having all of that set up. Okay, I want to, where's my zoom out? There we go. We'll deal with the tags and all that in a minute. I'm open on 36th. I don't know why none of that came in. Okay, got my strips with nothing on them, and that's that. All right, so let's have a quick look around the airport. This is pretty nice. I like the look of this, but I don't know if they're actually going to utilize any of these seaplanes. I think it's awesome the way it looks now. The water looks a lot better. The fact that there's actually textures under the water for close areas looks good. The lighting is much better. The shadowing is better. It's, I think the bloom and some of the lighting effects are a little bit much. Like coming off the water, that looks fine, but when I was back over there, this building, like look at how it just blanks out into bright white. I'm not sure that's exactly how that would go. Otherwise, this looks pretty cool. I like it. Interesting how there's so many homes right near the airport. I believe this is where all the seaplanes land and take off. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's on the other side. I could be a little wrong. Anyway, I like the effects. I like the look. We're going to have to see how this pans out. So, I did cheat a little bit and look at what the mouse controls do. It basically allows me to select an airplane somehow when I'm out here. Like it'll show the IATA tag and I can select it. And then I can use keyboard commands to control the airplane no matter where I'm at. I think that's a neat feature, but I think it should be easier to just have like the command window, like in the old game, up at the top of my display to punch it in. That way you don't necessarily do anything other than just click on an airplane. But we'll see how it pans out. The inside window glare being gone is so much nicer because it looks more realistic at this point. Let's unpause and see if we actually get any airplanes. I've got runway 36 from the south opened. Landing to the north. Got my first customer coming in. Qatar. Qatari. Okay. They'll be here in a minute. They are coming in. How do I get this out farther? Icon size, tag size. Got 5 miles of separation. I think that'll be fine. I can only get one inbound at a time. Do I have anybody in departures? No. I set this for 7 a.m. thinking we'd get a little busy with some of the arrivals and departures. We'll see. This may not be that good, but I just wanted to get back in and take a look at the new airport, the new effects, and I figured being at a place that's slightly more pretty would show off some of the effects and builds. I'm not sure how this is going to pan out with some of the older airports, if it's going to have kind of the same effect or if it's going to look any different. Wow, that guy is really far out there. All right. Well, while we wait, let's zip back over here for a minute and look at some of the ground clutter. So they've got the ramps for traffic, cargo tugs, parking towers. Ooh, these controls are sensitive. Fly Dubai, Gulf Air, Etihad. Yeah, the ground looks a lot better now with all the busy activity going on. So I'm really going to be curious if this is added automatically by their system, just like assigning these areas as cargo, and it'll just populate some of the stuff there in front of every plane as a tug, or if it doesn't have a ramp, it's got stairs and things like that. I'm curious if that's automated based on the placement or the availability of a placement marker or a spawning marker, or if that's something they had to go in and place manually. Oh my goodness. You are way too fast for speaking. Let's go back to fast. That must have been changed. They did say they adjusted voice, so that's probably why that's a little bit crazy. Qatari. Which one is this? 20 Alpha Heavy. Qatari 20 Alpha Heavy, runway 36, cleared to land.
Runway 36, clear to land. Qatari 20 Alpha Heavy.
It's a little better. I like the distortion now. The static is a lot better, more realistic, especially since he's farther out. SWR. Swiss. These are going to be bigger jets coming in based on their speed at 220. I think. I don't know how much traffic they do here from these smaller prop planes that don't go as fast. Guess I should probably get you on your runway. Nobody's on the ground. I've got taxiway Charlie. Let's see, you're Delta 3, Delta 4, Delta 5, Delta 6, Delta 7. Bravo on the inside, is that what I'm seeing here? Alpha's the one by the apron, and then Bravo. So, yeah, I think if I use Alpha to go north, B3 can then connect out to Charlie to go north. And then Charlie can come down and they can use these different Bravo ones to come in. So that'd be B7, B6, B5. Yeah, they can use that to connect in and out. That way they come down Charlie and head out. Okay. I think that'll work. F. F is my east apron. Where? So there's his tag. Okay, so there's where I can give some of the commands. Okay, that's kind of cool. Oops, how do I get off of that? Cancel. Okay. So there's an apron over here. So they're landing from the south. This is the other apron. So where would I taxi these guys? They would come over here and land from there. This is the new runway placement where they're building a new one. Doesn't look like these seaplanes are anything other than show, which is really kind of depressing.
Swiss 66 Heavy on final 36.
Swiss 66 Heavy, runway 36, cleared to land. Oops. Swiss 66 Heavy, runway 36, cleared to land.
Runway 36, clear to land. Swiss 66 Heavy.
I've still got that issue where I'm using the old game's controls. Okay, he's slowed up. I don't think Swiss is going to slow down yet until they're closer to the 5-mile marker. Mav. Who's Mav? I don't know these. That must not be Mav. It is MAV. Sea Wing. Interesting. Coming in full speed. Okay, 10-mile marker is when Swiss started slowing down. Alright, so that gives me some separation idea. This is a single runway, so I'm assuming these planes are mostly going to pull off on D3 and D4. Unless, well, these guys are heavy, so they might be doing D3. You know, these are probably all going to be heavy since the Maldives are out in the middle of the ocean. Now that I think about it, I am also slightly surprised I don't have a departure, so let's bump the speed up a bit here, see if we can get something going. Sea Wing should be calling in shortly.
Malay Tower, Sea Wing 421 on final 36.
Sea Wing 421, runway 36, cleared to land.
Runway 36, clear to land. Sea Wing 421.
Whoa. tag size way, way down there. I don't need that big. Icon size there. Your icon size is fine. Okay. Yep, he's taking D3. Qatari 20 Alpha Heavy. Taxi to apron via Charlie. Bravo 8.
Taxi to apron via Charlie. Bravo 8. Qatari 20 Alpha Heavy.
I want him to come down here and come up. That way he doesn't loop around. We'll see if he takes my adjusted command. Okay, Qatari's on the ground. Hey, did I move the tag or did it move on its own? I don't remember. I think I moved the tag. Yeah, I moved the tag. It came in straight vertical. There he goes. Perfect. He's doing exactly what I want him to do. So that way I can keep a clockwise flow around there without any issues. Nobody else is coming in. Nobody's departing. That's really depressing. Really need the runway tag size to be that big. Alright, let's bump the speed back up, get the next one down. They're almost there. Wow, Swiss is maintaining a lot more speed. Mav must be a prop. I don't know what they are. So Qatari's a 777, I believe, an A340 for Swiss, and an AT22. I think the AT22 is a twin prop. Who was SWR again? Oh, Swiss. Duh. Jeez. Swiss 66. Heavy, taxi to apron via Charlie, Bravo 7.
Taxi to apron via Charlie. Bravo 7. Swiss 66 Heavy.
Emirates coming in, another 77 Heavy. So I think the small plane might pull off here or here. Okay, we got an Emirates coming in, not gonna worry about him for a while. Qatari's gonna go around. There they go. It is nice seeing the tags. Like, this is what some of the virtual tower systems do, where they place the tags so you can actually look at this and have your information. I wonder if there's a way to add like the altitude, the speed, all of that stuff, and the details on there. Like, it tells me what runway he's going to and that he's cleared to land, I believe. If it was red, I don't think it'd be cleared. So let's see what happens with Emirates. I won't clear him to land for a little while. Hey, I was right, it's a prop. There he is.
656 Heavy on final 36.
See? Emirates 656 Heavy, runway 36, cleared to land. Beautiful. It even shrunk the tag size, telling me that I don't have to worry about him. That I will come back to. That's a game changer for me. That's just amazing. I love that they implemented some of the virtual cockpit stuff into this. That is so awesome. See you. Sea Wings 421, taxi to apron via Charlie. Shoot. Where am I going to route him? I got to get him across. Sea Wings 421 Heavy, taxi to apron via Charlie, Delta 6, Echo. Perfect. I just have to watch my clearance.
Via Charlie, Delta 6, Echo, Sea Wing 421.
Because he's going to be back taxiing. You're there at the gate, so Swiss, you're off my thing. Qatari 8 Echo, another Heavy coming in. That one's on the deck. You're in. This gives me a chance to actually use some of these other views, because now I can actually see what's going on and talk to my planes. Like, there goes Mav 421. As long as I know what their tags are, I can do this. I am so ecstatic. This is, oh my god, this is just so awesome. Can I move these tags in the sky? No, but that's okay. I can at least see that I haven't cleared. Oh my god, I cannot tell you how excited I am. Qatari 8 Echo Heavy, runway 36, cleared to land.
Runway 36, clear to land. Qatari 8 Echo Heavy.
No, Mav's gonna have to wait. I can see Mav waiting there. I can see this plane coming in. Oh my god, virtual tower is so nice. Now, it may not be in place at a tower like this, but
Island
thank you.
Aviation 240 with information. Juliet, requesting push and start.
Who the hell is this? DQA? Island Aviation 240, pushback approved. Expect runway 36. No,
Pushback approved.
Damn.
Expect runway 36. Island Aviation
DQA 240, pushback approved. Expect runway 18. Damn, I did it wrong. That's gonna screw me up. Emirates 656 Heavy, taxi to apron via Charlie, Bravo 5.
Taxi to apron. Via Charlie. Bravo 5. Emirates 656 Heavy.
Emirates 656 Heavy, hold short of taxiway Bravo 3.
Hold short of taxiway Bravo 3. Emirates 656 Heavy.
Okay, I messed up on Mav. He's not going to get across in time.
Malay ground. Island Aviation 240 ready to taxi.
Malay Tower, Villa Air 351 on final 36.
Island Aviation 240, runway 36 via Bravo 4 Charlie. Okay.
Runway 36 via Bravo 4. Charlie. Island Aviation 240.
Via Air 351, runway 36, cleared to land. Villa Air 351, runway 36, cleared to land.
Runway 36, clear to land. Villa Air 351.
Sea Wings 421, cross runway 36.
Cross runway 36. Sea Wing 421.
Qatari 8 Echo Heavy, taxi to apron via Charlie, Bravo 9. Shoot.
Ground. Golf Air 143 with information. Juliet, requesting push and start.
Emirates 656 Heavy, continue taxi.
Continue taxi. Emirates 656.
Qatari 8 Echo Heavy, taxi to apron via Charlie, Bravo 9. Thank you.
Taxi to apron via Charlie, Bravo 9er, Qatari 8 Echo Heavy.
Island Air 240, runway 36, cleared for immediate takeoff.
Runway 36, cleared for immediate takeoff. Island Aviation 240.
Malay Tower, Sky Dubai 1207 on final 36.
Sky Dubai 1207, runway 36, cleared to land.
Runway 36, clear to land. Sky Dubai 1207.
Gulf Air 143, pushback approved, expect runway 18.
Pushback approved. Expect runway 18. Golf Air 143.
Okay. Island Air 240, contact departure. I thought that was... the hell was Mav? C-Wing 4... La la la. C-Wing 240. What am I doing? What am I doing? Island Air 240. Contact departure. Island Aviation 240. Contact departure. Hey!
Malay departure on 123.9, Island Aviation 240.
Jeez, I forgot they added the names on the tags. Nope, I'm stupid. I'm so used to the old game still that I'm doing all these silly mistakes. Okay, Qatari's coming in. You're still pushing, aren't you? Yeah, you're still pushing. You're getting close. VQI is almost down. Vila Air.
Golf 143 ready for taxi.
Okay, where are you going? You're going all the way down. Gulf Air 143, runway 36, taxi via Bravo 4 Charlie.
Runway
Perfect.
36.
And there, if I recall, there's a pushback command to have them face a direction, but it's just easier in my mind, again, from the old game, to face them the direction of the wrong runway. So I will look at the commands later on and see if I can figure that one out. Wish I knew where he was going. I do miss that from the old... Wait, does it show me? It does. Okay. Never mind, I'm stupid. He's going there. You're going to go out and down. No new planes coming in. I only have one plane on the ground. You and you. Qatari's almost to the parking area. I cleared them a little early. Excuse me, early. Vila Air. Vila Air 351, taxi to apron via Charlie Bravo 4.
Taxi to apron via Charlie, Bravo 4, Villa Air 351.
Okay, once you switch to ground, you got that, so you're gonna loop around, that's good. Tahiti is coming in, Gulf Air is on the run. Island Aviation is gone. Here comes Tahiti. What plane is Tahiti? Turkish. I'm sorry, Turkish. Another 7-7. You know, is it 7-7 a 747? I don't remember. Probably. With the way I'm doing on all this stuff. Alright, let's bump the speed back up because this is slowing down. Here comes whoever that is. Sky Dubai, I thought so. You do not have takeoff clearance. Gulf Air 143, runway 36, line up and wait.
Runway 36, line up and wait. Golf 143.
Sky Dubai 1207, taxi to apron via Charlie Bravo 9.
Taxi to apron via Charlie, Bravo Niner, Sky Dubai 1207.
You're out. You're on the ground.
Malay Tower, Turkish 734 heavy on final 36.
Gulf Air. What was I gonna try with this guy? Gulf Air 143. Oh my goodness. Gulf Air 143, runway 36, cleared for takeoff upon reaching 2,000 feet. Contact departure. That was a fail.
Negative. Part missing. Golf 143.
Gulf Air 143, runway 36, cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 2,000. Contact departure.
Runway
Okay,
36.
so that one kind of
clear for
worked.
takeoff on reaching altitude 2000.
I don't love those.
Golf 143.
Turkish 743, runway 36, cleared to land. Turkish 36 Heavy, runway 36, cleared to land. Okay. Turkish 734 Heavy, runway 36, cleared to land.
Runway 36, cleared to land. Turkish
My
734 heavy.
brain is not in my head. Your departure. 7, 8. Could probably have done 1,000, but that's okay. If I can get in the habit of using some of those commands, then I can get some time savings, but cleared for immediate takeoff and contact departure later is usually a little fast within the 4 or 5 attempts it can sometimes take to get them done. Dang, I timed it just right. 2,000 feet got him right to the 5-mile marker. Awesome. That's what I wanted. They're off. They're all on my area. I guess this is my ground. Never mind. Departure. Bin those. You are on the ground. Almost to your parking, and then I'll bin you. And then we'll probably call this one there, because this has been a long enough video, but this gives us a good idea of how the game works. Whoops. Which one is it? This one. Let's shut down the runways. I've got this one cleared to land, so they should still be coming in just fine. Awesome. Love it. I don't remember where they're going. Where are you going? Turkish 734 Heavy, taxi to apron via Bravo 9er. I don't know if that's going to
Taxi
catch.
to apron via Bravo
Nope.
9er. Turkish 734 Heavy.
Wondered if it would catch. Turkish 734 Heavy, taxi to apron via Charlie, Bravo 9er.
Taxi to apron via Charlie.
Bravo
Bravo 9er.
9er.
Turkish 734 Heavy.
Okay, we got you out. You're now on the ground. Let's go back to 1. And watch this guy come down here in full speed. I know, I don't want an active runway right now. Alright, so massive improvements. I'm very happy with this update to the game. I dare say that I think the game is finally to a point where it's worth buying. I still have issues with it, I still have problems, but they've made enough improvements now that the game is much more fun. I still wish that these screens were a little easier to manage and deal with, and that it worked slightly better in widescreen. I know I did it before where I could use multiple monitors to set it all up, and it works. It's just a very difficult thing to try and capture video for you guys. If I was playing on my own, then I would definitely have ground radar on my left screen full again, and then on my center monitor I would probably have the air radar, or I'd have those split between the two with my tags on one screen and my that's really all I need, so just those 3 monitors. Like I did that one time in maybe a tower view so I can see what the airplanes are doing, but when I'm doing this it's not too bad. I just keep forgetting which keys do what. But it's not too bad to flip between monitors. I'm sure it's a little nauseating for you guys. But anyway, being able to actually utilize my window to look at the airport, which is one of the things that I miss so much from the old game, is so much better now. Because instead of just spending my whole time stuck down here, like most controllers will actually pop up and look at what's on the happening a little bit here. I know they don't stare out the window all day long, but being able to use some of that virtual ATC stuff that is really starting to become popularized, where like London Center Airport, I believe it is. No, it's not Heathrow, but it's London City Airport, that's the one. They've got a virtual tower set up, which is just amazing, with all those screens replacing the views with tons of HD cameras, and the ability to see through clouds with virtualizing it, and having all the tags on the airplanes and all the IATA information about the airplane. That's the only thing that's missing for me in this. When those tags are showing them coming in, I want it to replicate what's on the regular tag, unless they're on ground. But if they're in the air, I want to see all that flight information. And that would make this a lot easier, because then I could do a lot of my controlling from here, and then just look down here, clean this, pop up, I've got this plane going there. It's so nice to be able to use that, because it means that I'm not completely broken on some of those things, because a lot of those arrivals that I missed was because I was trying to look at something else. And it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen to me at a busy airport, but it means that if I pop up to look, that big red means I haven't cleared them to land, and that's an easy fix for me to come in there and quickly give them clearance before they hit the deck. So I will say that I think now the game is probably worth buying. Do I think you should buy all the DLC yet? I don't know. Next time I play, I'm going to go through some of these older airports. I may do LAX again. Stuttgart, I think, is one of the newer ones. Hollywood Burbank is a newer one. KRDU, I think, was in the old game as well. So some of these older ones, I want to look at how they've upgraded them with the new graphical systems, with the ground systems, and how they look. If they've cleaned up the textures and everything, then yeah, I'd probably say let's go ahead and start recommending a bunch of the DLC. But at the moment, I'm still a bit wary, but I think the game is now worth buying. And as I mentioned earlier, I may have the ability to try out some multiplayer, so I don't know if I'll do that in the next video, but we'll see how it goes. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.